Ayan had always been known for his brilliance. From the time he was a little boy, people would whisper about his future, how he'd make his parents proud, how he'd be a leader, how his name would light up places of honor. And for a time, he lived up to every word. He graduated top of his class, a mind sharp as lightning, a heart full of ambition. But life, in its strange way, does not always reward brilliance with ease. It started with a job interview he thought he nailed. Then came the rejection, then another, and another. The offers never came. His father's business began to crumble, and Ayan, the oldest of four, felt the weight of 1,000 expectations slowly crush his soul. He tried. For months, he woke up early, wrote CVS, applied endlessly, smiled at his family so they wouldn't worry. But the silence of his inbox mocked him every day. His father, once a proud man, started staying in bed longer. His mother prayed longer. His siblings grew quieter. Ayan began to withdraw. He stopped attending the masjid. The Quran on his shelf gathered dust. His smile disappeared, replaced by blank stares and restless nights. He questioned everything: himself, his worth, even his creator. He still remembered the night he nearly gave up. It was just before dawn. The world outside was silent, the kind of silence that screams. His room was dark, cluttered with reminders of failure, crumpled rejection letters, unanswered calls, bills he had no means to pay. On the table was a letter, half written, his final goodbye. He couldn't bring himself to finish it. Tears welled up in his eyes. He didn't know who to talk to. He didn't want to be pitied. He felt like a burden, a shadow of the man he once hoped to become. And in that moment of utter despair, he whispered something he hadn't said in weeks. Ya Allah, are you still there? That whisper cracked something open. It was quiet, feeble, but it was real. It was a plea from a heart barely holding on. And sometimes that's all it takes. A soft knock came at the door. It startled him. No one ever came this early. He didn't open it. He didn't move. But after a moment, he heard the soft slide of paper being pushed under his door. Curious, he walked over and picked it up. It was a simple note, scribbled in shaky handwriting. It read, "No matter how far you've gone, one Sajdah can bring you back." He stared at it for a long time. The paper trembled in his hand as tears returned, this time not from despair, but from something else. Hope? Maybe. He walked to the bathroom, turned on the tap, and let the water wash over his hands, his face, his arms. He hadn't made wudu in so long. It felt like a forgotten ritual. But as the cold water touched his skin, he felt a strange peace settle over him. He laid out his dusty prayer mat. His hands shook. His forehead met the ground. And there, in the silence before sunrise, Ayan made Sajdah. A Sajdah filled with tears, with unspoken words, with guilt, sorrow, longing, and surrender. He didn't ask for miracles. He didn't list his problems. He just stayed there, forehead pressed to the ground, whispering, "I'm sorry. I miss you. I want to come back." And in that moment, everything changed. No, his problems didn't vanish. The rejections were still there. The bills hadn't paid themselves. But his heart felt different, lighter, as though a door had opened, a door he thought was locked forever. The sun began to rise. Its light slipped through the curtains, warming the room, touching his face as he sat quietly after Fajr. He looked out the window and smiled, a real smile this time. He walked to the masjid later that day. The elderly neighbor who left the note greeted him with teary eyes and a warm embrace. They didn't say much. They didn't need to. Ayan's journey back to faith was slow. Some days he stumbled. Some days he cried again. But now he had something he'd forgotten, a reason to keep going. He started helping others who were struggling. He spoke gently to the brother who lingered at the back of the masjid. He wrote letters to young men, fighting silent battles. He became a source of comfort for others because he understood. Years later, someone asked him what changed him, and he smiled and said, "It wasn't a lecture. It wasn't a miracle. It was one sajdah, the last sajdah before sunrise. That's where my healing began." So if you're listening to this and your heart feels heavy, your prayers feel empty, or you feel too far gone, just remember this. No matter how dark the night is, the sun always rises, and sometimes all it takes is one sincere sajdah to bring your soul back to the light.